Hi, welcome back to Tammy at Paper Nest. It is day 42 of the 100-day project. Before we get started, I got happy mail from Pam, the ginger cat lady. She has a really great group. They're very kind, they're very good people, and if you have not seen her or been to her live, so she's a little bit overnight, but it's still good. You should go watch it. It's hilarious. So this is what she made. The prompt was to use book page, and it's an accordion little pocket book thing. Look at that. Look at all that. Like, see, I don't know if you can see all that sewing. Like, she sewed all of it and folded it up and glued it up, and there's this little closure that I almost tore when I opened it. I'm like, what is this? Ah! Anyway, so cute, adorable, fabulous. Yay, I'm gonna use it in something. All right, so 100-day project. What I pulled was another Tim Holtz thing because, like everyone else, I have a few little Tim Holtz things. So here's what I did yesterday, how I finished up. I just did a little 3-piece little bit there. I put some stickles on her and some Wink of Stella. I put a closure so that would close, and then inside are the pictures of fairies. Okay, so that's what I did. I also, on this first page out of the Antiquarium sticker book, the one that you can get at Barnes & Noble, I got a T for my first page because, well, it's a T in progress, right? So there you go. All right, for today's quick make, I have from that same Antiquarium sticker book, I have this turtle and my Tim Holtz beautiful guy, and he's gonna be he's gonna be riding on that turtle right there. Okay, and then these are for a little bit in a minute, so let's just get this down real quick. I wanted to do this so bad last night, and I was like, no, I'm gonna wait, because not everything is all cutting and pasting. Sometimes we're just kind of collaging ideas on paper and we're just getting them down. I did ink him already, so but you know how that looks. So we're gonna put the PVA glitter glue mix on him, and he's gonna be sitting right there on that turtle. Oh my god, it's a little bit bumpy because of the, let me get that out of there. So that'll, okay, good, awesome. And then boom, I know it's not much, but I'm okay with that. A lot of times, like when I do make any kind of journal, I'll just kind of get like the bigger pieces on, and I go back and embellish. Embellish is my word for the year. So that's like when I went back and kind of did some more, like inked some grunge onto the lace and did the stickles and things, because I really feel like it's got to kind of sit there for me for a minute and let me kind of think about it. All right, so for this page, I have this doodle. I just drew a heart, and I used, I have a whole bunch of these brushes that have inks on them from previous works. And so what I did is I just used those brushes and kind of colored it, and then I cut it out. Yeah, it's Shanuki at Shanuki Art. She does it all the time. I have this doily, and we're gonna get that on there. I think though, before we get it on there, let's color it up, because we certainly don't want a boring doily, do we? No, and this just has some color on it, so I'm just doing that. And let's see what other color we have. Let's see if there's there's not much purple left on this. There's enough though, just to kind of give a faint idea that there is some color there. All right, so these are just paper doilies. You can get them on Amazon or Dollar Tree or wherever doilies are sold. It's just something extra to add to your decor, because D is such a great letter. All right, So we're going to glue it down. I'm going to go ahead and just use our regular mix here. It's all good. It's a little bit finicky, you know, because it's got a lot of little holes and things, but you know, it doesn't need much to glue down. It's just a really thin piece of paper, kind of like Cicadia paper. Okay, good. I'm gonna get that out of the way so it doesn't accidentally glue. All right, I'm gonna use one of these little pieces over here just to protect him so he doesn't accidentally glue. And I know I did say that I was going to try to use as much of scraps as I could for this particular make, but I mean, I you know, I probably do have scrap doilies somewhere, but if I do, it's only like a half of one, and I don't know if a half of one would help me in what I'm trying to do here, so that's why we did that. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So I'm gonna put my little doodly heart on my doily. Okay, so let's get that down. And I think I need to go around it with black just because I feel like it needs to stand out more. But we gotta kind of let that dry for a minute before we do that. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. So this is another Shinuki art trick. Not the water. The water is not her trick. She uses the this pencil, and it is, hold on, I'm digging for it. Got it. Stabilo Aquarabelle black. Anyway, so it's just like this, but then you just kind of dip it in your water. Here's how I do it though, because it gets a little juicy. So I just get it on my mat and just get a little bit of water, and you just kind of go around and smear it, and you can trace around things and give it, like, it's kind of like inking the edges, except for different. I don't know how to explain it, but, and then you can give it a little smear, and it kind of like a Joan Jett and the Blackhearts here. That's what that looks. This is kind of reminding me of here. I did see them in concert. Pretty cool. All right. All right. Good. Kind of smeary, kind of grungy, and that's okay because that's kind of the look I was looking for. Because, you know, doilies are nice, but, you know, I want to grunge at them. Just get that off there. All right. We're going to put the lid back on the water because, yeah, it's just me. Good. Okay, so I feel like we need a sentiment. So we're going to need a good word to help us along here. And my sentiments are buried over here. I have a lot of sentiments. See, they're just kind of overpowering this little box here, and I'm always so happy when I can use one. I like this one. If you stumble, make it look like part of the dance. I like that a lot. Let's do that one. And it's kind of a whole different color thing, so I like that too. I mean, I know some people probably don't, but I think it's pretty cool. I do kind of want to get that extra brown off of there. This is, I believe, I'm 99.999%. This is Debbie Epps. I just love her sentiments. She's got some snarky ones too, and I love all of them. I just think they're fun. Fun. All right. I know you were thinking of that song when I said fun. It's all right. Okay. So, if you stumble, make it part of the day. Let's get that on there. Ooh, do we want it on the... Oh, let's put it up there. Or here. No, let's put it on the heart. Let's kind of do that. Let's do that and kind of tie those two things together. The heart and the doily. Okay, so we're tying things together with a T. Ha! We're tying things. There we go. Oops. Sorry. Got a little shmeary there. There we go. Okay. That's the bill. All it does get. You gotta kind of let that dry. Awesome. We'll probably do some more there, but that's the biggest part of that one. Okay. All right, and then we'll put something there. But this one I have, where are we gonna put this? Let's hold off on that one. This is kind of that idea. Oh, I saw, I think I saw Nancy Piter do it. I mean, everyone has kind of done this, but basically it's not the best example of it because my print is not exactly the same. But basically, you put your image down. Okay, so let's do that. Let me just cut that down just a little so it fits a little bit better. I'm getting it kind of jaggly edges here, you know, just kind of following that. It's not really caring there. Okay, and let's get that jaggly edge off of there. We'll give ourselves a little bit more room on our page. Now I know I'm like covering that up, but I mean, I'm not mad at covering that up. Maybe we'll cover this up because it's got that white on that bottom. Okay, let's do that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna glue this down. Okay, you could use this or you could use the Fabrifix. You could use whatever glue you want. Doesn't really matter. No glue police are coming for you. It's kind of heavy cardstock, so I don't think that it necessarily needs the glue stick. Okay, so you have your image down and then you have an extra image, and I just cut off part of it, and I'm just going to kind of match it up, and it will become a hidden pocket. Okay, so I'm not going to ink anything to show that it's a pocket. It's a hidden pocket, right? So we're going to do this. We're going to hold where we don't want glue so we don't accidentally glue our pocket shut. That's a rookie move. And, which I do a lot. And we're going to put that there. See, it doesn't match up exactly because of just how I printed it, but that's okay. It's close enough. You get the idea. See how that's off there and this is off here, but it's just, you know, it is what it is. All right, and so now we have a hidden pocket. There you go. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, coming along. All right, now we got this big turtle. We're gonna put this big turtle. This image is gonna live here on this page. I cut it out last night out of these old encyclopedias that we got for like nothing. I think really the biggest thing was just going to get them. That was the biggest thing. So I'm just going to kind of cut around these children's. Okay. I can't even imagine seeing a turtle. Well, I have seen turtles that big. I have, but to be able to get on one, I don't know. Turtles and kids. I mean, how can you go wrong? I don't know. Some people don't like kids. I think kids are okay. All right, good. So there's like fake texture here. So I want to add some more texture there. So I'm coming over here, grabbing something. Cicadia paper it is. Okay. Oh, I did have a little bit of that. I just think we're just gonna add just a little bit just for funsies. Okay, and we'll do that with the glue stick because the Cicadia paper is so thin, and glue stick just kind of just like the cheesecloth. It just, see how it just kind of adds that? I like that. Grunge that up a little bit. The only bad thing is that it takes it forever to dry, but it's okay. I'm not mad at it. We're gonna just glue something on top of it anyway. All right, and we'll just use our regular glue for that. And we are just moving right along, aren't we? And then like later on today, I'll embellish some more and I'll show you what I did, you know, if you're interested. Because, you know, right now you're probably looking at it going, a little kid could do that. Like, you're not really doing anything. But I do try to get a little fancy with the embellishments because that's really like anybody, I mean, it's not that big a deal. But you want to be able to make it good. Like this pocket, see how that's kind of like that? I'm going to put it on here, and that's going to help make this page a little bit more stable. So let me get those edges inked a little bit. This is like I said, I was going to throw this away because when I printed it, it printed crazy. And so well, I'm not gonna probably use that, but I'll put it in my scrap pile just in case. And then you know how you can't decide, is this something worth saving? Like, I wouldn't save this, except for like when I make paper. That probably would be a really good thing, but I already have a whole bin of little paper pieces for me to make paper. So yeah. Okay, so there we got our pocket. So we have a pocket, we have, oops, we have a hidden pocket, we have some glue that needs to dry, we have our turtle and our children's. We got our tied together idea here. When you stumble, make it part of the dance. We have our Tim Holtz on our turtle sitting there. Well, I mean, yeah, booking right along. Get it? Booking right along. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do while I'm talking to you is I'm going to tie on these little metal pieces. Here at the bottom, I'm 99.999% sure this journal is just for me. And I'm not mad at putting danglies on here because I think they're cute, but sometimes I don't know. I think sometimes people are like, well, we don't really care about the danglies, and they're just like extra, and I think they're cool. And plus, it gets me a little bit of metal on my project today. So it's kind of fiddly, but you just kind of tie it, and you know, there's probably like, I'm not a jewelry maker. I don't have all the jewelry stuff. You know, like if you're a jewelry maker, you probably can add a hoop and a loop and a doopity doo and a dippity dee and do all the things. I'm just not that. So yeah, that's okay though. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. You know, tides change. And speaking of tides, the prompt today for the 100-day project is to check the weather, do a weather update. So we're going to do a crafting update. I really am happy with the things that I've made. I know I'm kind of straying away from my craft journal that I'm making, but I just kind of wanted to take a break and join some of the challenges. So that's why that's happening. But our weather will change, and we will get back to we will get back to our crafting journal, which I will I'll show you. Actually, I made 2 of them. So I made this one, which is just a envelope, and it's got all its pages, and this is Tim Holtz fabric. I also made this one, also Tim Holtz fabric, and also going to be a journal. Okay, I just can't remember which one's which. One's a crafting journal, one's something else. So those are the shells are ready to go. And if you need to know how to do that, you know what I just showed you, just go to 49 Dragonflies, or that's really where she's the best one for that. So good. I think we're good. So I will just continue just embellishing little bits here, and I just kind of wanted to show you progress, and that every day is a crafty day here at this house. At least I try to be. And I hope that you do some art today, and thank you so much. And remember that life is always better when we ink those edges. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.